Oh,
Yep, it's
hello.
recording. Hello. Yep. Morning.
Sorry. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, fam. We appreciate it. We've been having some technical difficulties this morning, so if there's any issues, please direct your complaints to Cam. Just know it's nothing to do with Ryan or I. Um, Apologies, but yeah, it's what happens when you live in Nelson. So I hope you guys have all been having a lovely time with your fish tanks. It has been a while since we've recorded, so I've missed you. But we'll start off nice and easy, how we always do, and we'll go around the room and ask you guys what interesting stuff has been happening in your fish room slash shop slash fish lives. Who's got anything exciting to
Uh,
report?
just want to say that we had to teach the inbred one how to use mobile hotspot this morning because he didn't know what his password was and didn't realize it was on his phone the whole time. So there you go. It's taken him 25
Now
minutes
is
to get
not
an
the
internet
time.
connection. It's taken
These
25 minutes to
Now
get an internet connection. So now is
these
definitely the
newfangled
time.
gadgets.
is not
Definitely
the
the
time.
time. This is the poke the beer time. Come on, beer. Poke the beer. You look like a big grumpy beer or gorilla. I reckon gorilla.
Yeah,
Gorilla that
okay.
someone's stolen their banana. So banana. Where's your banana? Come on. Oh, it looks so grumpy. It's so cool. But anyway, my fish room has been just ticking along. I've been going through grading fish and sorting fish. I am well overstocked on fish, so I need to start selling some African cichlids. So yeah, that's about me. I've got way too many fish. Running out of tank space
Sounds lit.
fast.
Suppose it's good. It's good now that you've started, breeding your trophies and that. I'm sure they take up a bit of room.
I have many trophies, right? Just Firefox at the moment. It's a couple of the Boise because I sold the rest.
Oh, well,
So yeah,
better than nothing, I suppose.
yeah. There's a
Yeah.
couple of the Boise holding though, so we'll have to get in there and do that. But yeah,
Do the nasty on them.
tooth and nasty.
So we got to be careful in asking this, but Cam, would you like to participate in the podcast? We've been grumpy for some time to calm down.
I've
Do
got a
some deep
banana for you,
breathing.
gorilla. Yeah, bananas. Yeah, bananas. Here you go.
I do like bananas.
all grumpy gorillas do.
Fuck you.
What has been happening for you, Cam? I know you've been spawning some stuff. What have you spawned recently?
And how's the internet down there in Nelson today? You good?
It was choked.
Oh man!
Okay, anyway, we'll talk about fish now. Sorry. I'm not
Yep.
sorry, but I'll bring it up again later.
I've now maximized all the available stands and shelves that I possibly could, and all the things that will hold water out the back. So all of that is now done. I've had a few spawns from zebradanios, which isn't that exciting, but it's exciting for me. And it would appear that cherry barbs are my mortal enemy because now they're not just not spawning, they're also dying on me. So that kind of sucks.
Zebradanios is exciting. That's a cool fish. I like them. One we need to keep around.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't mind getting hold of some leopard danios. I haven't seen them for a little while.
Yeah, neither. I was thinking.
I think they need to be bought as sorted danios from one of the suppliers, and you'll get leopards.
A few years ago, I don't know if you remember, you used to get those long fin leopards.
Leopards, longfin zebras, all sorts, eh?
Yeah, I haven't seen the leopard variety longfin in ages, but they were so cool because they were kind of glowy, real shiny with the big long fins. Whereas the zebras is a bit more not natural, but normal looking color. But yeah, I would really like to get my hands on some of those longfin leopards. If any of our lovely listeners are wanting to sell me some longfin leopard danios, hit me up. But yeah, they're very cool fish, and as some people will know, but everyone else will know once I tell them, we can't import danios anymore. So you should
Some
do the
danios.
Most like zebras and stuff. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
I don't 100% know which ones, but yeah, like zebras and stuff can't import, so be cool to keep them around. They're cool fish.
Where's Cam gone? Yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
We're looking at it. We're looking at an empty. Oh, that was the ceiling. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm having a bit of an allergy attack this morning, so if I have to keep ducking off to blow a nose, that'll be why. But there's not much I can do about it. Apologies.
You should be sorry. It's the worst thing that's happened to us all day long. You're the blame now.
Yeah. What I haven't really had too much exciting stuff going on recently either. I am a bit so I grow like all the plants / buy all the plants off you lovely people to sell, but we've been a little bit too efficient recently. So I'm like the plant tank literally run out of room, and so there's like overflow sitting everywhere. So it's a good problem to have, but that's probably the only notable thing that's happened to me recently is all the easy to grow like fast stuff has been too easy to grow and too fast. Got ambulia coming out of my ears, all
So
that kind of thing.
got
So
it.
yeah.
So you've got to actually start selling it now, do you?
Yeah, man, that's the step I missed.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, getting there for sure. Oh my god, cat's just climbing in through the window. That's random. That's all
That's
going on today.
That's what they do.
Yep. So yeah, did anyone have any other stuff they wanted to bring up in this section?
Negative.
Cool.
No.
All right. Well, so we got two parts to this question here. So we'll do the non-fish question, but first I'm going to give you guys a little challenge. Not you guys, the listeners. Drop down below your best jokes about Nelson's internet, and next week we're going to pick the winner and have a good laugh. So do that. I'm looking forward to it. I will go through all of them diligently, and I'll compile the list. So
I reckon
there's my little challenge out there.
At some stage, we should run a challenge, and the winner gets to come on the podcast with us.
That sounds cool.
Providing they
want to
don't
get up at the crack of dawn.
Providing they don't live in Nelson and actually have some internet, or know how to tether their phone, which I think every kid from the age of about 10 knows.
I think even old people like you and Cam know. It's just Cam in particular's got some challenges.
Yeah.
Shall we say?
Developmental delays and stuff like that. Anyway, we have a very... Oh, he's gone black. Oh, he's back. Once you go black, you do come back. There you go.
Don't say that.
Anyway, we digress into other. It has to be behind
Nonsense.
the paywall. I think that sort of talk. Anyway, we are gonna. I've actually forgotten what we're going to talk about today. Why we keep the fishes?
Where's Cam's stupid question?
Oh,
yeah, that wasn't.
Stupid question.
That was a separate. That was a separate thing. That's a one-off. That's a one-off segment. A little bit of interaction for you guys. So do that, please. Keep them clean enough for me to be able to read them out on the air. If they're,
borderline.
we don't want to
clean enough to read out the air either.
We don't want to get ourselves arrested or anything. So keep them away from that area, I guess. But yeah, I look forward to it. I'm going to be reading through them diligently, and Cam will be off the YouTube and stuff for the next week, I suppose. But hey, whoever wins this competition will get
Just get on with it. Far out.
Grumpy. A little bit grumpy there, mate.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with yes. So the one that I was going to ask today is, so excluding fish specifically, so you're not allowed to tell me a fish, what would your guys' favorite animal be?
Dog.
Sick. Good answer. Not bird.
No, this bird's trying to pick my fucking face hair out at the moment, which is not very fun. He's trying to
That's
pick
awesome.
my beard. He thinks we're friends, so he wants to groom me.
Nice. You should probably stop keeping all those ticks in your beard then.
He's got to eat something. So, But dogs, I think dogs are awesome. They're always happy to see you when you come home, unlike humans sometimes, So,
Yep.
and they don't. I just don't think they have. They don't want to hurt you or fuck you over, or do anything dumb. Like cats will literally try and kill you every time you go in the kitchen. Or just attack you in the middle of the night or something, just to fuck with you, or when you're halfway through petting you, just attack you just because they're cats. Just what they do.
Yeah.
And I do like cats as well because they've got cool personality. But for me, it's the dogs. Dogs are awesome.
Yeah, makes sense.
If you put energy into them, you can actually train them, which I have not with my dogs, so that's why they're dumb dogs. But
Yeah, good answer. How about you, Cam?
I like cows because they taste delicious.
I thought you were going to say horses because they get you around.
And they keep the internet running. They run around in that little wheel and keep the internet running.
I go home. Big internet issues got to go. Fuck you both.
Funny guy. But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to allow that answer. You can't choose food.
All right.
It has to be a companion animal. A companion animal.
Or just like something cool to look at or like fun to learn about or something. But you can't do it because you like to eat it. That's cheating.
Or even something that we can't keep in New Zealand.
Or even like a giraffe or something. But you just like looking at pictures of something.
A zebra or something.
Sounds weird. Snakes are kind of cool.
What? That's a horrible answer. I hate that answer.
Seen some of the colors and the patterning on the snakes? They're amazing.
Yeah, they're terrifying. Absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. I can't imagine keeping a snake. I would never be able to sleep again.
That wasn't part of the criteria. You just said, "What's your favorite animal?"
Yeah, that's fair. But still, I don't get it. That's scary.
Probably a cockatiel. Cockatiels are cool. Yeah, look at them go. Yeah. I had a pair of cockatiels when I was in my early 20s. Late teens, early 20s. And they were very cool. And the male was totally hand-reared and doing exactly what that one does. And when I was flatting, it was the flat bird. It always hung out with us, etc., etc. And then one day we had a massive storm in Nelson, and it was outside an aviary, and the storm absolutely destroyed my entire aviary, including my birds. Well, my hand-reared pet. So that kind of sucked.
Well, that does suck.
Yeah.
That's pretty lame. Yeah. So for those of you... You what, sorry?
My wife wants me to get birds. I'm just going to buy some bird stuff one day, bring it home and say, oh, well, we've got it now. Tough luck.
Fair enough. Yeah. So those of you listening on the podcast, Ryan currently has this bird walking around on his shoulders and stuff, which is what that whole conversation means. It's some sort of little grey fella. I don't know anything about birds, but he looks cool.
It's Nigel.
Yeah, exactly.
Nigel, mate.
Ryan looks like a retired pirate. Yeah, someone who used to be a pirate, but now he's too old, and so just sits there as a little chirpy little bastard.
So yes, it's a cockatiel, and it's called Nigel, and he's pretty much a certified arsehole. So yeah, he has lots of attitude problems, and he just randomly attacks you and stuff, which is kind of cool. I think he's
so it's cool. Like the bird version of you.
And it's my daughter's bird, and she's away, and he's hand-reared and always just hanging out with people. So I have to bring him out, or he just squawks the house down and gets real angry with people. And then when you go to get him out, because you haven't got him out, he gets angry with you and attacks you. So yeah.
So you're victim blaming him for his own imprisonment.
Yeah, pretty much. But if we let him out, he goes and attacks the cat and the dogs. So like we let him out a
seems
lot,
like
but
he's playing with fire.
we can't let him out unattended. No, that's scared of him at the moment. But I was just worried that if the cat or the dog do take exception to him, he won't get a second chance. So he's
Yeah,
also
sure.
escaped several times. He's also escaped several times, and daughter found him down at the reserve, like 3 blocks away, one day after he got out.
Oh, nice.
So that was pretty random. So now he gets the wing trimming. I trim his wings regularly and cut them very short so he can't fly properly. So yeah, it's not Nigel's favourite time when I bring the glove out. He hates the glove.
I don't blame him.
But yeah.
Well, for me, I'm gonna go with. I don't know what I'm gonna go with. There's two sort of. It's two answers I would like to go with. So like one is like tortoises. I reckon they're just such dumb animals. Like, like you see those massive like Galapagos tortoises and that, and you're like, how is this a thing? How is this the best way for you to not die? It seems weird. And then I also like birds, but like tuis and stuff. Like watching them hang out in the garden is always a good time. Can't beat it. So yeah, those are my suggestions.
And you get
Pretty
some
sure
cool,
it could be
you get some
silly.
cool wild birds that are quite friendly too.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you like have the same ones that like comes and visits every day and that, then
Like
they get to know you and come closer and all this.
I've stayed up north with Nelson. You know Nelson, it's Nelson's grandmother, and
yeah.
and they've got a pet bird up there. Well, they call it Fred or Freddy, but it's about 4 or 5 generations
Wow.
of birds that have lived there, and they and the original one was called Fred, and then Fred had babies and brought his babies back, and now his babies all come there. So yeah, the bird's always called Freddy, Frederick, or something like that, but they don't know if they're males or females or which one it actually is. But yeah, as soon as we turned around, we'd open the door and there was a bird inside, but not like hand raised like this, but friendly enough that it will come within a meter of you, and it sits there and squawks at you until you give it food and stuff, and like it knows its place, and it's fairly tame.
What sort of bird?
That's cool.
Some sort of black bird. It was black and probably a little bit bigger than the cockatiel here on my shoulder.
Was it a magpie?
Oh, nice.
With a yellow beak. No, it wasn't a magpie. No, it was all black. Maybe it's called a blackbird. I don't really know.
Not a bird guy.
Not really.
This is a fish podcast.
Not a birdologist. Sorry.
Is this a segue into the New Zealand's Bird of the Year competition that got hijacked by the American talk show host?
That is crack up.
Isn't it just?
I love it.
When the pukeko has anything to do with the bird of the year, we know we've got problems because those things are shit birds.
Didn't a bat win last year?
Oh, and a bat won a bird show, yeah. That's stupid. Not even a fucking bird.
What were you saying, sorry, Kev?
I didn't know that pukekos weren't just in New Zealand.
Are they not?
It's called New Zealand Bird of the Year.
Yeah, but they're
Where
not
are
just in New Zealand. I don't know if they're not native, but they're in Australia, and I think they're in other parts of the world as well. They're called swamp hens everywhere else. It's just us that call them pukeko.
Oh,
yeah,
well, that's random.
It's called an Australasian swamp hen.
Yeah.
Swampy little
Papua New
bastards.
Guinea, Australia, and New Zealand, and they're fucking horrible things.
I've always wanted to eat
Nice.
one, but apparently they're not good eating.
They don't look like they'd be good eating. They're like tough,
Yeah.
horrible things. But anyway.
Oh, we should probably talk about fish now, seeing we've been recording for 20 minutes. We probably just need to get better at that, but that's a conversation for another day.
18 minutes of it's been you abusing me.
Maybe just do better.
Probably, deserve most of it. So.
And to be honest, we still haven't recorded for as long as we've sat there and waited for you to figure out how to use Wi-Fi tethering on your phone. So, you had the solution within 30 seconds of it happening. But anyway, that's
all
just,
right. So,
all there.
For today, we wanted to talk about some fun stuff to hopefully make Cam less angry with us and bring some joy. So, we wanted to talk about, well, I wanted to talk about, and you guys just do whatever I say, is sort of why do we keep fish? What?
I said you sound like my wife.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
But yeah,
Wife
like,
slash
why do we
sister.
keep fish? Shut up.
Anyway.
So why do we keep fish? What are the sort of things that the way Cam described it is what fills our cup? Like, what makes us enjoy fish keeping the most? Like, why aren't we keeping a whole bunch of birds? Why is it fish? What's the good stuff? What are the benefits it brings to us? All that kind of good, happy stuff. So I'll throw that out to you, Cam. You can start. You can overcome your sadness with your first point about why you like fish so much.
I like the idea. You done? You
Go on.
good? You happy?
All right, go gorilla. Go on. You get it.
I like the fact that I can keep a fish tank and not need to have really good internet to do it. I think that's a bonus.
That's good. Yeah. It's handy when you live in a shithole.
Yeah.
It's lucky that you don't make a podcast that requires good internet, eh?
Yeah.
That would be horrible.
I like that basically it feels like you can slice out a total piece of nature into a glass box and you can go as deep or as shallow on that as if you want. Like you can really try and replicate this 1 square meter area from a riverway where the fish that you're keeping come from, or you can broaden it to a geographical region, or you can just have some cool fish in a tank without a SpongeBob hotel.
Yeah, man. You could replicate Bikini Bottom if you wanted to.
Well, you couldn't, but yeah, sure.
Which we know is a natural environment for fish. And also,
Exactly.
we do
True
know
story.
that ships do sink in water. So shipwrecks are a part of the natural aquascape because ships do sink in water.
Also, hey man,
Otherwise,
it's
where
not
else do they
unheard
go?
of for an airplane to crash, for a helicopter to crash, for
So
Optimus Prime to walk around.
all these things, the Lego Atlantis to be under there, like
You
all
have
these
to
things. All
The
these
water's
things
a
are
big place.
They are scientifically proven to exist
Yeah,
in
man.
nature, so they are acceptable parts of creating nature.
Exactly. If you are that way inclined, I definitely agree. You can kind of like slice it. It's almost like, this is gonna sound so wanky, but it's like, art almost. It's like, taking a big section of whatever area you're trying to replicate and just putting it in your house as a visual display.
Wanky.
It is, but of course it is, but it is still true. I think it's cool. It's like connects you, especially if like I find a lot of people. So this is cam science, so it could be wrong, but I definitely have noticed like the people who tend to be more into like the natural like aquascaping and stuff. Like I find a lot of them is like people who live in apartments and that, because obviously you don't really have outside and like it's just all an apartment's not you don't even have a garden or anything. But people get like even just like a little countertop sort of size tank and do like a real natural looking kind of aquascape or like river thing and make it more natural so that you can get as close to what you're trying to do as possible. I think that's a really cool point because it does add value, especially where you if you live in an area where you can't sort of make that connection elsewhere, So yeah, I like it. I like the way you think.
I guess unless you go on an aquascaping Facebook group, you can do whatever you like with your tank as well. You can stick, and as long as it's not going to kill the fish, although that's debatable with a lot of stuff, but as long as it's not going to kill the fish, you can do what you want to in there. You can have a tank with pink rocks and fake plants and do whatever as long as you're into it. Hey, it's all good. Just don't go on an aquascaping page.
Exactly. That's a good sort of next point, I guess, is like it's very, I don't know what you'd say, like versatile, I guess. Like you can have like a tiny little tank filled with like, SpongeBob SquarePants houses, or you can have like a massive like river thing that like looks exactly like it's just come straight out of the wild, and you can obviously do everything in between. So no matter what you're trying to do, you like big fish, you like small fish, you like plants, you like shipwrecks, like whatever you're trying to do, there's options for you. I always say that's like one of the best parts is how you can kind of do your own thing, even if it's not like conventionally popular, you know? Like I can't think of an example, but like like pink rocks. Not the world's most popular sort of way of doing it, but if you want to fill a 6 foot tank with pink rocks, who's going to stop you?
I've always, like when talking to customers and stuff like that, always sort of worked along the theory of, well, I've said it many times, it's in your house. If you love it, then that's all that matters. Like,
Exactly. And I mean,
as long as you're getting enjoyment out of it, then who really cares what other people
Yeah, and
are thinking and saying?
on a Facebook group in America, I saw someone who had done this nasty as African cichlid tank, and I didn't like it, but they'd got all these fake corals and stuck a blue light on it, so that like all these corals were just like lit up like they were not real, just like a neon sign factory, like, and it was just like, and they were just flexing it and saying how much they loved it and stuff, but everyone was getting all angry with them and stuff. What do you do that for? And I was like, oh, because they can and they love it. It's all good, like
it's in their house and enjoying it. As long as the fish are well looked after and all that kind of stuff, then that's all that really matters at the end of the day.
It's like,
yeah, man.
if my kids, once my kids are older, if they could hear me now, when you're a lot older, and I have grandkids and shit, I could totally see myself fucking putting bloody like transformers and all sorts of shit in the tanks for the grandkids. I'd fucking love it, like I think it'd be cool as.
Man, that'd be awesome.
I think it'd be awesome. It'd be cool as.
Yeah, man, but not. I think it would be awesome. I agree with you. But yeah, it's quite cool like that. And then because you can also extend that to the actual fish themselves when you're looking at like what you want to use, if that makes sense. So like, if you want like just some small little peaceful, quiet stuff to like look at and relax, you can, chuck a bunch of some sort of tetra in there. Or if you want something a bit more personality, a bit more interactive, a bit more of a pet, you can, they got Oscars and stuff around, so you can kind of adjust it even that way, like in terms of what you're wanting to get out of it, which I think is quite a fun little thing. Like it's not a fish isn't a fish, like you do get that really big sort of variety of personalities and activity levels and all this kind of thing. So I think that's a good choice.
Fucking bird's trying to eat my headset, and when I try and tell him off, he attacks me, which is correct.
It's hilarious. I'm watching him. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, he's such an asshole. I love it. It's so funny.
This is why I'm not a bird person.
You said you like birds from
outside. Yeah,
outside.
I like sitting and watching them outside, not having them crawl all over my bloody chest. Yeah, man, I am one of those people. I'll admit it. But yeah, no, that's a good suggestion. I like the way you think. So the next thing I was gonna say is it's one of my favorite things. Is very like people say like relaxing. I'm not gonna necessarily go down that route, but I say more like sort of peaceful. Like you can kind of interact with it, but you don't have to put in that much effort, if that makes sense. Like, if you got a dog, for example, you kind of have to play with the dog because like it can run around. But obviously, an aquarium is like one spot, like it's in your living room or something, and you can just sit there and like kind of take it in a much more like peaceful way, and like just sit there and like watch the fish swim around and like look at the plants and like all this kind of thing, but not have to. It's more like kind of passive almost consumption. So a lot of people, I actually have quite a few customers who, they get real into fish, and they end up just getting rid of their TV, and then they just sit there next to the tank and watch that while they you know, have their dinner or whatever. So I think that's a really cool thing. That's much more like it's a very different way of interacting with it than it would be for, you know, any other kind of pet or something like that.
Yeah, and you find people can get lost in a tank as well, like so. Kids especially, but also adults. So we're looking in the tank and they'll see something random at the back, like the bristle nose or whatever. What's he up to? Hey, he goes up the side. What's he doing? You know, hey, what's he doing there? You know, hey, what's that guy
Yeah,
doing? Why is he hiding under the rock? Oh, there's a baby under there. Oh, what's that little one doing? Why is that one
yeah,
chasing that one? You know what I mean? And they're just like, whoa, what's going on? And they're quite
yeah.
fascinated by it all, and they sort of start getting in the zone with it. Some people,
You get kind of captivated.
yeah. But yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of people too, and that's what people get into. I had someone message me the
Yeah,
other day actually asking me for some fish, and they reckon they wanted something as an alternative to watching their TV. So yeah, that is an interesting one as well. You know,
yeah.
I found a lot of people do that with snails, like the whole "what the hell's that snail doing" sort of thing.
Oh
Um,
yeah, 100%. There's
Quirky wee
like I
things.
always find snails is like one of those ones, like especially like non-fish people, so like little kids and like families and stuff. They like they love the snails more than they love the fish, like
Mm.
100%. They just go absolutely mental for it. Like watching them, you know, they watch them like cruising around and like climbing up the glass and then dropping off and like sailing down and like all this kind of stuff. They like non-fish people absolutely love it. They think it's the coolest thing, and it's like, oh yeah, we'll get some fish, we'll put it with it. But yeah, what the hell? Okay, so the bird, Ryan's bird, is currently climbing all over that camera, and we're just staring at his like elbow or whatever the hell
no,
that is. So,
butthole, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
oh,
probably
oh, nice.
Yeah, look, I'm still here. I'm
Well,
still here. Just move
yeah,
over,
got
Nigel.
Ryan's.
Just move over here. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Oh, well, man, this is one of those ones like you should probably look this one up on YouTube. You get the whole visual experience going on rather than just the you
It'd
know
be funny if the bird shat on
pleasuring
the
your
camera.
ears.
That'd be hilarious.
That'll be
Yeah.
comedy gold.
Mm.
But yeah, no, that being able to kind of enjoy it in a more passive way is I think a really good thing that kind of sets aquariums apart from some of the other stuff that would occupy a similar space, like you know a dog, for example, like this blade bird, that kind of thing. So yeah, that I'll give that as my first example. So yeah, I know. Well, yeah. What else do you think? Whose turn is it? Cam. I think I know you've got some good ones.
me. I like the fact that you can push the boundaries, both small and big. Um, as an
Explain.
example, I was going to until you interrupted. I'm I'm planning a little 15-liter tank at the moment. It's sitting on my desk, which is clearly pushing the boundaries on the small side of things. And then I'm building, although it's not pushing the boundaries in large size, I'm building that 7 foot or 8 foot clown tank, which goes the other extreme of size of aquarium. So you can kind of push the boundaries in whichever way you've got or how much space you've got to work with.
Yeah, it's like an easy hobby to scale in the sense of you know physically, bigger tanks or little tanks. You can kind of like keep the same sort of idea. Like I'd say probably like a 1 foot better tank is the same idea as like a 6 foot Oscar tank, like one more interesting personable fish, but obviously like completely different orders of magnitude in terms of like size and volume and investment and everything like that. But you still get that same kind of personable idea, and like that can be said with like anything. Like you could do that with a big manicured aquascape tank or like a tiny little planted nano tank or something like that. Like whatever kind of space you're interested in, there's options to kind of scale it up or down depending on what you're interested in and like how much space you've got available and all that kind of thing. Which I think is really cool because then obviously you can make the most of it according to whatever
resources you have in terms of time and space and money and all this kind of thing.
Yeah, I've seen people in America build tanks in their basements, and they're like, you know, as
Swimming
big
pools.
as someone's lounge and shit like that. You know, big as swimming pools and stuff. They just frame it out, insulate it, and put a big massive viewing panel in, turn their fucking whole basement into a fish tank. You know, like
That's pretty awesome.
so you can go as crazy as you want to.
Yeah, for sure. And that's good because it means you've always got like options at least. You know, you never kind of run out of things to do. Oh, whoops. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So you never.
Whoops.
Sorry, I clicked the
You're
wrong button and you guys disappeared for a sec.
Only is limited to your imagination, really, and to an extent, how much space you've got to put aquariums.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
usually by your partner as well.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
unless you're one of those people, I guess I'd say lucky, but it could also be unlucky that your partner's into fish as well. Because
They're
I've seen
That's a
coordinated.
recipe for disaster.
I've seen it before, and it's like something out of a fishy horror movie where you go into someone's house and they're both into fish, and every single surface in the house, the kitchen bench, the table, every single surface that could possibly hold a fish tank has a fish tank, and the whole place smells and it's bubbling away and it's insane, you know. So yeah, yeah, you don't want
It's
to be that
good
person.
until it's all of a sudden too much.
It's good until it's a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Alternatively, you could just start your own fish shop.
Exactly. Then at least you've got an excuse no matter what.
Yeah. I don't have to ask
Yeah.
permission now if I want to buy any fish. It's all okay. Everything's okay. I'm the one that gives permission.
Yeah, man. Life hack. So
Yeah.
what you're telling me is we should have like however many listeners we get,
7.
100 or whatever.
12.
We should have 100 fish shops scattered around the country, all
Do it.
branded the same. 3 idiots.
Do it.
Well, the problem with this is we don't even have a logo. So how do we coordinate something on that level when we don't even have a logo, and we also barely even decide on our topic, and then yeah. So I think
we should just go with the winged approach.
We've got to take some steps before we can get to that level. I think one of us can't even use the internet. You know, like we've got to build. We've got to put the building blocks in place for this plan first. Okay, so.
All right. Oh, he's yawning. He's fully lost interest now.
Oh, gorillas
Poor fella.
getting tired. Oh.
Bedtime, eh? But yeah. Oh no, I like it. I like the way you think. What do you got for us, Ryan?
I guess for me, I like the challenge of it as well sometimes. Like when I've got fish that, you know, are rare or whatever, or just really cool and no one's under the country or need to be kept going. I like the challenge of breeding them and, you know, managing the stock and making sure I've got enough males and females and always got some growing out and sort of, you know, keeping things going and having that, you know, responsibility, but, you know, like just doing it and getting the fish out there so other people can enjoy
Like
them,
the problem solving kind of aspect.
Yeah, and just the logistics of it and stuff. I mean, that's also a blessing and a curse because then sometimes you get a little bit frustrated and you think, oh, bloody hell, if I don't do this, no one will, and all these fish will die out, and then, you know,
yeah,
I wish
exactly.
someone else would want to keep just, yeah. Obviously, I'm exaggerating. There are other people breeding African cichlids that are keeping stuff going and stuff, and we're working together and da 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 da. I'm not saying I'm, you know, the be all and end all of it, but you know. There's a lot of stuff that I've got that I'm the only one breeding.
Yeah,
Liar.
There's always things no one else has got all that.
What's that?
I said, liar, you're saying you're the king of the castle.
But the problem is that like I'm running out of tanks and I'm starting to cut stuff, and other people are doing the same, and we're messaging each other going, mate, are you keeping these? Are you keeping these? It's like, oh god, you know, it's like I end up with tanks and tanks of fish just that I'm keeping just in case no one else does, and in 3 or 4 years we need them again. So
Is one of those species bumblebees?
100% is not bumblebees.
Loser.
I'm
What
not a
about
bumblebee
Kingy?
fan.
What about
Not a
Kingy?
Kingy
You keeping Kingy? Loser.
No.
They're the best two fish ever. Aratus? No, not going to qualify that with an
No
answer.
comment.
Anyway, next one. Next one, young Cam. What do you
All
reckon?
right, you want to move
Young
on?
dumb
Eh?
Cam.
Well,
Doesn't want to
That's
talk about
rude.
the cool African cichlids. Only want to talk about the loser ones.
yeah, pretty much. But so what I was going to say is, I find a lot of people quite enjoy the sort of research aspect of it. So with fish, like, doesn't matter who, literally anyone. No one is ever going to know everything. Like, there's always stuff you're going to know, like, be it some random obscure fact about some fish that's not really that well known about, or like if you're just getting started, like trying to learn about, how to look after this fish or whatever. Like, actually doing the research and like learning about it, I find people sometimes even enjoy more than the actual implementing it in the first place. Like, just being able to like learn all these different facts and like see all these different fish, like where they come from in the wild, how they interact with each other, all this kind of thing.
Yeah,
Is a really cool
totally
kind of thing.
I'm
Yeah.
totally,
So like,
yeah.
what would
I enjoyed,
how would you? Oh, sorry. Well, you continue.
I enjoyed the research, the design, the setting up way more than the keeping the fish. Like 6 months later, after setting up a display tank, I'm bored and I want to do something different with it. But that whole research process and the setting it up and all that, that floats my boat for sure.
Yeah, man. I remember. So before I was doing what I was doing now, I used to work at Pizza Hut, and I just did like I delivered all the pizzas and stuff. And what I used to
I thought
do
you said
is
PetSmart for a second then.
No,
So what
Pizza Hut.
Is there PetSmart in New Zealand? I didn't know that. Yeah, cool.
No, Pizza Hut. It's
Yeah.
cooler, trust me. But
Fun
I used
fact.
to,
That as well.
Oh, nice. Must be where all the cool people work, eh?
Yeah, that's why
That's
Ryan.
why Ryan didn't work there.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what I used to do. And when there was like, because I'd be working on like a Tuesday night. It's not that many people ordering pizzas. I should just like sit there and just like read about fish, like all different blog posts and like care guides and like research things about how to breed such and such a fish and that. And it was fish that like I didn't even necessarily own myself. Like maybe I'd be reading about like all about goldfish, like fancy goldfish, for example. And it's like I don't have any fancy goldfish. At the time didn't even really have any inclination to want to keep them, but somehow I'd be like on some sort of website somewhere, and then like it'll pop up, and I kind of go down that rabbit hole, and all of a sudden I've been reading for 4 hours about best ways to breed goldfish when it's not applicable to me at all. But it's almost like a hobby within itself, like learning about like animals in general. And I find a lot of people like that sort of thing as well. Like people will come in and like maybe they'll be real into community, like planted tanks, for example, but they'll come in and they'll see an African cichlid holding, and we'll talk for like an hour about that whole process and like what's going on there and that. And it's like they got no inclination to want to keep them themselves, but they want to learn about how does the whole process work, and like why do they do that, and like all this kind of thing. So I think that's like, I don't think that can be overstated how much enjoyment that brings people, I think. And like, of course it's not everyone. Like I know some people like just want to know how to look after it and don't really care about like these random obscure breeding things and like sorry, the bird is playing up again. But like
He's on the camera, but he gets angry at me every time I try and move him. He just attacks me. So
classic. You need a big stick or something to poke him with. But yeah,
I don't know if poking a bird with a stick is ethical.
What? I don't know. We'll put that to the side. I don't want to get us arrested or anything for animal abuse, but keeping a bird off the camera is allowed. I'll admit it. But yeah, I think that the whole research and learning side of things is almost a hobby within itself, you know. So yeah.
During
See, I don't actually enjoy. I mean, I like looking at fish and stuff, but the research stuff side of it doesn't really do it.
Is
For me.
that
I've got all the
because you
books.
can't read?
It's because he has to wait
fine.
so long for the carrier pigeons to bring back the answers.
In Nelson or in Auckland.
Well,
Well,
saying you live in
Australia.
Auckland's a bit of a stretch.
I'm confused anyway. But anyway, like I've got all the books,
Basically,
I've got all the
Helen's all
resources
shit.
and stuff. I've got all the books, I've got all the resources and stuff, but I only use them like when I'm having a problem or I want to know a specific thing, you know? Like, what is this fish? I'll pull up the book, I'll look it up, I'll do it, and I'll be like, cool. You know, like it's something that I do because I need to, not because I want to, you know? Like I've met people that love the freaking science of cycling a tank, you know, and they love dripping all this crap in their tank and measuring stuff and doing all this stuff to me, which seems like completely pointless. Whereas I just want to put fish in a tank and enjoy them and not do any of that dumb shit. If I need to do that dumb shit when something's gone wrong, I'll do it. But to me, it's, you know, the last thing I actually want to do.
Yeah,
Some
for
people
sure.
are real into it. Some people are real into it. Love the science. Love waiting 6 weeks with an empty tank, dropping random stuff in it, and doing all that sort of crazy stuff. Hey, good on you, but it seems a bit insane to me, you know.
It
But hey,
depends. You know, it depends what you're trying to get out of it. I suppose if you're scientifically inclined, you might be more, you know, more prone to doing research about random stuff that might not even apply or just out of interest. Whereas, you know, if you're more practical about it, you might just want to know what you need to know to keep the fish, and then the random obscure facts about them doesn't so much matter. So yeah.
In the last year of my degree, I was given a computer to do my study on and an office.
What?
When I was working up at the hospital, or doing my placement at the hospital.
A computer, you tell me?
Yeah. And
No,
every
do you mean an
Friday,
abacus?
like, so it was one of those ones you slid the beads across, eh? Yeah. And did you wind it up?
I'm so happy that I've been taking yoga recently, which has helped me with my breathing for this very moment.
I would love to see a gorilla do yoga. That would be amazing. It'd probably be like that Phil Collins song where that gorilla does that drumming. You know, like,
You mean the Cadbury song?
You know, it'd be like that. I reckon it'd be awesome. Anyway,
Okay. Anyway, I was
Your
every Friday I
abacus,
was
yes.
left by myself, and they didn't.
What?
they left you by yourself
With an abacus.
in the hospital. Oh my god!
Okay, no, continue your story.
Yeah.
You were talking about an abacus.
He was alone by himself with a
Right.
computer in the
They
hospital,
blocked-
setting the scene.
They blocked basically every other website except for the.
It's because you were going to the wrong sites.
Oh my god!
You're not allowed to go to those sites at work. It's not okay.
No, we gotta let him finish the story now. I feel bad.
Oh,
I feel
sorry.
bad for the guy. He's walked off.
What a
Nice one,
story.
Ryan.
What a story.
We want to
Okay,
hear the
I'll
story,
let
Cam. We'll behave. We'll listen.
But they didn't block the FNZAS website. So
Oh, yeah.
all day Friday during my placement for about 3 months, all I did was read the FNZAS website. I managed at that point in time to read every single blog post that was put up on that website.
Be a fair few, Jesus.
That was a shitload. That's how deep and intense I got into the
And
reading and the research.
And that site used to be pretty fucking legit.
Something.
It used to be awesome.
Yeah.
It used to be awesome. There used to be a lot of stuff. There still is a lot of stuff on there, but obviously it's just not very active anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you find a lot of people like to do that kind of thing, eh? Because like, I'm sure 90% of it didn't apply to you, like stuff about, you know,
Not
marine
at all.
tanks or random fish that you don't have or whatever. But it's still of interest and still learning, even if you're not putting it into practice instantly or whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I find myself going in that rabbit hole regularly on Facebook, and I'm a member of all sorts of different groups, including marine groups and stuff like that. And I just read about them doing their setting up their marine tanks and things like that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Even just looking
I
at the pictures and seeing different ways of doing stuff, and that is still learning in of itself. Even it doesn't have to be in the reading format. You can just like see the way that other people do stuff, or like different types of equipment they might use, or stuff like that. And maybe one day, maybe you don't need it now, but maybe in 10 years you'll be trying to do something. You'll be like, oh, I have this vague memory of such and such a system of doing it, or whatever. And then away you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yep,
so
yep.
yeah, I'm pretty good at making suggestions. So we'll see what you guys come up with and see if we can stretch them. So yeah, good luck after that gem of an idea.
Yeah. A big one for me too is like meet lots of cool people keeping fish. Like fish keepers are cool. We're awesome. So
Yeah,
meet lots of cool people. Like I've got mates that I've known for 20 years. Like I had a mate ring me up the other night and say, mate, are we going to the fish club meeting? We should go to the pub beforehand, have a feed, and show up a little bit tipsy and take some beers with us and have a laugh. So it's just
Did you do that?
No, we didn't. We both decided not to, but we will at some stage. Maybe the Christmas party we'll make dicks of ourselves. But
let's change things. Oh wait,
I've got lots of good friends. Also got lots of good hookups as well for getting work done sometimes. I've got a fish mate that does that. I've got a fish mate that does that. Or they come out and they buy fish off me. They're like, oh, if you ever need bloody plumbing supplies, or if you ever need building stuff, or if you need bloody any of this stuff, let me know, And
yeah,
so it's like a little network within itself of people that keep fish, that do stuff. The guy came out the other day that kept fish and did disposal, and we need to get some renovations done in our house. So he's like, oh, when you need to get your house demolished and get the stuff taken away, let me know. It's what I do for a job. So
yeah. Well, when when your dishwasher died the other day, got all Renison out to see what's going on.
I swapped fish for getting my dishwasher fixed, and because he's a dishwasher repairman, that's what he does. Well, he trains dishwasher repairmans now. So he hooked me up, and he took some fish in exchange. So
yeah, it's like
he's the master splinter of dishwashers.
What's that?
He's the master splinter of dishwashers.
Oh yeah, I'd say everything Fisher and Paykel. But I mean, it's not about just getting shit for free or cheap. It's about those connections.
Yeah,
and
because I mean, if someone needs an insect screen, they can hit you up. Goes both ways.
Yeah. I've got quite a few fish mates that want insect screens actually, so I should probably sort them out.
I have heard that Ryan goes both ways.
Oi.
All the best ones do. All the best ones do. Anyway, but yeah, like it's kind of what, once you've been in it for a while, what kind of keeps you going when fish mates just people that you haven't seen for 15 years or whatever, get in touch with you and say, hey, what's up? You want to hang out, have a beer, talk shit about fish?
Having a shared interest is just a start, and then you go you're both into cars, or your jobs are somewhat related or something like that, and you can just meet people. So yeah, and I mean, of course, not every fish person's a cool person. There's plenty of crazy people, but still, having those shared connections is a great start at least.
Yeah, and I've definitely been fucked over by lots of fish people, but hey, you do get to meet all sorts of people that do all sorts of different things, things, and and it's cool, So yeah, I think that's the cool part of it. And also, when you breed and sell fish like I do, seeing people sending you photos and stuff of their tanks and saying, mate, these fish are amazing, I love them and stuff, and they're looking awesome and they're happy, and conversely helping them when things go wrong as well.
Yeah, man. That kind of segues into something else I was wanting to talk about. Is like, probably it might not be the most relatable for like everybody, but for a lot of people, being able to like help out beginners and stuff like that, I think is really fun. Like, not even necessarily if you're obviously for like me and Cam, like in a customers to other whatever we would be, the sellers kind of relationship, but even just like, you know, fish people talking to other fish people, like, you know, on Facebook, or like, you know, buying stuff of each other and becoming friends in that, like kind of being able to nurture people's journey towards being successful, or like trying to do being able to do what they're trying to do, like whatever the situation is. But I think that's a really rewarding experience, and you know, that's a good way to make friends in general, of course, but then just like having that more, you know, mentorship and like helping people having success is a really fun aspect for any sort of fish people, not just fish business people, you know. So yeah.
I think intrinsically and naturally, most people want to help each other. You know,
Exactly.
so that does fill that cup, and that sort of part of humanity, I guess, as you could say, you know, like
Yeah.
by having able to help someone and help someone be successful and share something that you're good at, you know. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. Oh, well, that if you guys can hear a clicking noise, that's the bird having a go at the headphones. So, you know, send your complaints straight to him. I'm sure he'll ignore them.
he's fucking
Birds are awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what else do you guys got for me?
Maybe if you didn't call him such a fucking asshole all the time, he'd be better behaved. Have you thought about being positive towards the animal? The animal might then react positively towards you.
I'm sorry, Nigel. You're such
We're
a
talking
good
about the
bird.
gorilla here. He's just dropping hints.
Attack me gently, please. You're such a nice bird. Oh, bite me gently. Oh, I like that. Thank you. No, it didn't work.
All right.
Anyway,
Yeah, well, you've called him an asshole about 15,000 times on this 1 hour podcast. You can be nice to him once. What do you
he's
expect?
probably embarrassed. He's probably embarrassed, isn't he? The bird's. I don't think he's developed enough to feel embarrassed. He just wants to attack me.
Yeah. All right. What else do you guys have?
I think it's kind of cool to have fish that are in like low numbers or not even in the wild anymore, kicking around, still available, like within aquariums.
Still, yeah. Like, so what would be some good examples of that, you reckon?
I'm pretty sure white cloud minnows are pretty low numbers over in the wild.
Nah, I think they're fully gone, eh?
Are they?
From my low, that's not one that's made it to my research list yet. So I'm not an expert, but I believe they're fully gone.
Yeah. So yeah, things like that, and like they're still available in the hobby, and
readily available too. Not like some obscure thing. Like you walk into any fish store in the entire world probably, and you'll find 100 other things sitting around.
And you know, on that theory, there potentially could be opportunities to repopulate them. There's plenty of other fish that have been repopulated in the wild, so I think that's quite a cool thing.
Yeah, I seen. That's actually maybe I can't remember when it was. Maybe like 2-3 days ago, I was reading about I think Maxi might have posted it about them reintroducing a whole bunch of rainbow fish that had you know,
just an update here. White cloud mountain minnows are in the wild, but they're extremely rare.
Yeah.
Because they come from China and Vietnam. The geographic origins have undergone significant changes, which have negatively affected its impact. So I guess they've built heaps
Habitat
of houses and
destruction.
stuff and polluted all the waterways, and they've all died. But they have found some native populations in some places that I can't pronounce in China and Vietnam. So there you go. And they're
Better than nothing, I suppose.
They're still trying to introduce wild captive breed populations into the wild.
Oh,
So
nice.
there you go.
And it's not just, you know, that's the example we're using, but there's like any number of things, like you know, the what are they called? Roseline sharks, the torpedo barbs. That's another very endangered, if not extinct, one. Axolotls even is a popular one that you guys will hate, but you know, there's not really any of them around. Like, I think a lot of people would be surprised. Like, a lot of the very common fish that a lot of them might even have in their own tanks It's just like, yeah, if this wasn't in your tank, it would not be anywhere. There's no way for it to survive. And like obviously some of it is, over harvesting and that, but some of it is even just like, the rivers get destroyed or,
But
predator
but is
fish
it
come in and
over,
eat them all.
is it over harvesting? Like, or do
Well,
we
no,
just
some
believe
fish could
that?
be.
Like, if we look at the grand scheme of things, how many fish are taken from the wild to how many habitats are destroyed via just destruction, pollution, all that kind of stuff. It's just a thought. I don't think that our industry really puts that much toll on it.
I think it really
I think
depends on each fish.
It's a combination. It's a combination of things like an African cichlid, for example. Yes, it would be the environment as well, but a lot of these populations are very small and limited to isolated areas of a lake, and it's pretty easy to wipe out an entire population trying to feed the international hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
A wild caught fish like trophies and stuff like that. So
yeah, but then you got the example of the white clouds, and it's like, yeah, they just have nowhere left to live, so that kind of sucks.
You think there could be billions of them in the wild if they were living in big waterways and stuff and schooling in massive schools and shit, like Cardinal or whatever. But
yeah. So I think I definitely know what you mean for sure. Like, there's some fish that I think people have the idea that they're over harvested, but then it's actually, they build a massive city over the top of the area they live in. Everything got choked out, but like that example of the Tropheus to Boise that you just mentioned is probably 90%, 99% fish hobby related, and then few are probably getting eaten by other fish or whatever.
On topic but off topic, whitebait here in New Zealand's another massive one. Like, there's been some massive amounts of whitebait being pulled out of rivers this year, like ginormous amount of that. So how much of that is going to begin to work on natural populations just from people pulling it out to get a food?
That's one that when I was younger, like, when I was a kid, I used to go whitebaiting all the time. With my granddad, we used to go all the time. But since I've gotten older and kind of like actually know what a whitebait is and like what it means, not a fan of that anymore. Like, a lot of very endangered fish fry getting pulled out is not. Well, I don't think it's a good idea.
But it's okay, bro, because we're getting a feed. But we're getting a feed, man. It's okay. We're allowed to do that.
Yeah, but I can't go shoot a rhinoceros and eat it because I'm getting a feed. That would be crazy. So
pretty sure
tough luck.
Sorry, my point was that
you definitely can't shoot a rhinoceros.
Well, you could.
What the hell are you talking about?
You physically could, but it would definitely be frowned upon and illegal, and you'd get in trouble. But
You'd probably just get shot back in return.
But the problem is, if the whitebait were to decline, then the very important trout species wouldn't have something to eat. So the government would be very upset about that. They'd do something about that, I would think, if the trout started dying off, or at least we couldn't have trout.
Bro, it's a conspiracy.
New Zealand's economy.
Yeah, man. All those $12 those people spend on lures is, that's irreplaceable. What are we going to do?
The trout are almost more protected and more looked after than our native species. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, man. It's a scam. Absolute scam.
Is. But anyway.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of whitebaiting. I know what you mean, but I do definitely agree. Like, it is. I used to do it heaps and like didn't really know. So, it is one of those ones where I'm sure there's plenty of other things I just don't know about, but it sucks. It's not a good thing. It'd be cool if all the fish were not endangered, but that's not how it works, unfortunately. So yeah, what else do you have?
And sometimes shit happens, right?
Exactly. And sometimes stuff goes extinct for other reasons, but I'm going to say a lot of the time, it's humans' fault, but occasionally it's not. So always the bright side, I suppose. What do you got, Ryan? You about to say something?
What have I got?
Where's Nigel gone?
Breeding.
I've taken Nigel away and I've given him some lettuce and put him on the couch because he was flying around eating all the houseplants. So I've given him some lettuce to chew on so that he stops eating all the expensive houseplants because
I thought lettuce was bad for cockatiels.
don't know, he's eating it. It's probably better than eating all the houseplants that he's eating.
Oh, possibly.
So like I don't know. Maybe I'll Google that.
Do some research. Boom. But yeah,
I want to answer. But can
Dreaders
cockatiels
took
eat-
aquariums and birds.
Yeah, well, I think if we're talking birds, we're kind of fucked. Apparently, it's good for them. A good source of A and C.
Sweet.
All right.
Anyway,
So what?
about fish? Yes, about fish. About fish. What are we talking about? We're talking about fish here, aren't we? Yeah. Okay.
Why don't you talk about breeding?
Breeding.
Because
That's
he doesn't
fun.
know much about breeding.
Wowza. Simmer down, internet boy. Know your place.
It is cool to add some water and add some fish and end up with more fish than what you started off with, and
Yeah, man.
like that's always quite a cool thing to do. I think I like that, and it feels like it's you must be doing something right if the fish are happy and they're breeding, and then the babies are living, and then the babies grow up to look cool. Often
Yeah, man.
I buy fish and then breed them, and then it's the offspring that I want to actually breed from because the imported fish or whatever don't look that good because of the environment they've been raised in or what they've been fed and stuff. And the fish that I've raised usually look a lot better.
Yeah.
Genetically,
What a
they'll
humble
probably
guy.
be the same, but I just do.
What
I don't
a
know what it
humble
is.
guy.
I don't know what it is.
No, I know what you
they
mean.
just they
And it's
colour
one
up
of those
every
ones
other
like, yeah, and the whole process is one that like people absolutely love. Like, but maybe you're just breeding some like decent looking but not super crazy platies with your kids for a fun little side science project, and that's cool. Or you're spending thousands of dollars trying to breed some random obscure pleco or fiddling with all RO systems and all this kind of thing. Again, there's different scales, but being able to like replicate fish and like see nature in action is really cool. Like, I've never really been that big breeder into breeding personally. Like, it's just never been my thing. I'm not a fish breeder. I'm just like, I like looking at them. But I've had a few things breeding recently. Like my Julies have been breeding, cherry barbs on and off been breeding. Even my missus is into platies at the moment, so we got a little platy tank here next to me that she's trying to breed. Oh wait, simmer down. But
Well, I thought I was going to say congratulations.
I must not throw any comments in here about breeding with your blood relatives either.
Those comments, we'll find all those in the YouTube comments.
I am from Wellington.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not much better, to be honest.
But anyway, I mean, you can claim what you want, and it's okay. You're allowed to have that. You're allowed to have that, okay? You're allowed to have that. We'll give you that.
But yes.
Anyway,
so breeding is a really fun thing that a lot of people enjoy, and like especially non/casual fish people, like get families who got like little guppy tanks and the guppies breed, and it's like the most exciting thing that's ever happened to them. Like you get these, I get it. Like most days, like these people come in, like, oh my god, our guppies are bred. We got like 5 little baby guppies cruising around. Like it's the most exciting thing in the world, and it's a really cool thing to be able to share because it's more like people like animals, but like it's not 100% ethical to just have 2 dogs that just breed sometimes in your backyard. That's probably not ideal. But if you've got a group of platies and occasionally a bunch of babies come out, that's cool. That's exciting, but it's doable or acceptable.
You make a really good point on the ethical part of it. Like, it's not ethical to have 2 dogs breed in your backyard. How is it any different to like what Ryan's doing with all of his fish in his backyard?
I don't 100% want to comment because I know nothing about dogs, but
Puppy mills to fish mills, are they any different?
But I'm going to comment, even though with the disclaimer, I know nothing about dogs. Let's dive into it. But I think it is like it's for a situation like Ryan, I'm going to say it's a bit more, it's not so much just like backyard kind of hillbilly shit. Like it is, but it's a bit more,
Absolutely.
no, but it's a bit more like focused, I guess, or like intentional. Intentional, I guess, is the word. Like it's not so much just like randomly happening with like all these random mutt
But
fish like coming out that just get
problem with
shoveled off to kids who kill them straight away.
the problem with puppy mills and stuff is usually they're just pumping out as many puppies and stuff as they can. They don't care about health. They don't care about conditions. They don't care about anything. They just want to pump out as many puppies as they can and sell them for $1,000 each. They've got cages everywhere. They're just breeding anything to anything, and there's no real quality control or worry about their homes or anything like that. And dogs
again, I'm not
a bigger commitment than fish. You know,
Yeah.
fish is still a commitment. I'm not saying they're not a living animal and there's not a commitment or responsibility there. But I mean,
Yeah.
you can go away for a week and leave your fish at home, and they're going to be alive when you come back. You know,
and for the
your dog's
most
probably
part,
not
a
going to be
dog
happy
is
if you leave him home for a week by himself with no food or water. You know.
And for the most part, you know, dogs live a lot longer, need a lot more money spent on them in food and bills and stuff. So it's a bit different. But yeah, I would. So again, I'm not a dog guy, but I do think it is very different. But I'm sure it's like a scale thing. Like I'm sure there's people who breed like on their own well, you know, and like do it well and like, you know, look after them and like raise them nicely and stuff. I'm sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the same goes for fish. Like a lot of people cranking out real, you know, wonky spines, can barely swim kind of stuff, and then people breeding stuff like nice fish that happy and healthy and like ensure they go to a place like someone who is able to give them like a really good home for their entire life. So yeah, but no, breeding is good fun, but it is a commitment, and people seem to enjoy it, which is good. So yeah, that's
cool.
me.
I agree, and it's about sharing and spreading them, and also like with my breeding, I'm very intentful on what I breed and how much of it I breed. You know, like I could breed probably 2,000-3,000 giraffes a year if I wanted to, but there's not that many homes for them. You know. And
Yeah,
and if I
exactly.
could find
Just
that many
get
homes
stuck
for
with
them, well, you'd never get stuck with them. But what people usually do is sell them off really cheap on trade, man. People buy them because they're cheap, not because they can actually house them. So, you know, ethically.
Yeah,
And I don't breed or keep Frontosa because I don't have tanks big enough, and I think that they're probably one really abused fish and not usually kept in best environments and stuff. So, you know, what's the point?
I guess it's a bit more
You know.
intentful, and then like that's kind of the dog parallel would be like if you're cranking out, you know, whatever the equivalent amount of like real obscure like dogs, like a you
If
know
you're
Saint
a
Bernards
registered,
or Dalmatians or
if,
something that's huge, and not that many people can house them properly and exercise them enough in that. So you got to make
and
sure they actually go somewhere.
a lot of dog breeders do the same sort of stuff. They trace all the lines and they do all the vet checks and they have pedigrees and do all that sort of shit. So yeah,
Yeah, man.
different thing. But again, there's always questionable ethics on every single thing. Even us choosing to keep these fish in glass boxes for our entertainment is questionable ethically. So
yeah, man.
What do you and what we do now is also completely different to what we did 10 years ago, or what's considered okay 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, or 50 years
I
ago,
do
or
think
100
about
years
that
ago.
a lot.
You know, what are we going to be doing in 20 years? What is the ethic? What are we going to evolve to in 20 years? You know, I think
we'll look back and we'll be like, man, we were absolutely mental back then. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff we'll discover was a horrible idea. You know, even stuff as simple as like, you know, a few years ago, it was a thing to just keep pea puffers alone, like just as a solo fish. Now it's like, yeah, that's no good. You need a group. Kind of discovered that that's the way to do it, and so, you know, where will we end up in 10 years? It's exciting. Goes in hand with that research thing.
Which then builds into the I've been keeping fish for 20 years and this is doing absolutely fine without doing any water tests and never doing water changes type scenario. Well, shit's changed, man.
So I'm gonna say something that we shouldn't talk about, but it goes in hand with like politics and stuff. Just like life in general and like understandings of the world is like we always learn more stuff. You know,
Mm.
like if we
But
didn't
also-
change, we'd still be running around with sticks trying to bash each other's heads in. But you know,
But
we've
the
been to the moon,
interesting
man.
thing,
I think.
the interesting thing as well is as we learn more, people get lazier. There's definitely more of a market for a lot more gimmicky stuff that potentially does or doesn't work. You know, so I do think you do got to start from a basis of the very simple stuff, and then assess everything else. Because if someone can make a magic pill and sell it to you, they will. You know what I mean? I mean, look at the plethora of. If you Googled, weight loss treatments or whatever, you'd get 400,000 pages of
Wait,
elixirs and
Are you
things.
telling
that
me
people
my
would,
weight loss pills don't work?
but you'll get 400,000 different ways to do it, different pills, different diets, different shakes, different everything, with all this science to back them up. And is it wrong or right? I don't know. I'm not an expert in that field, but I'm noticing that a
Time
lot
will
with
tell.
fish keeping. I'm noticing that a lot with fish keeping too, as people are getting lazier, they're getting more impatient. So people are looking for magic fixes and, hey, I chuck this stuff in and then I can do this or I do that, And I've met
I'm
so
gonna-
many people that have got themselves in trouble when their fish go wrong and they're putting this thing in and they're putting that thing in and they're putting that thing in and their tank goes cloudy, so they put this thing in and they put this thing in and they do this thing and then they're doing this and they're doing that and they're,
Oh, the irony. People are getting lazy, but they don't want to cycle a tank for 6 to 8 weeks because people are getting lazy. Oh,
I'm
the
get-
irony, Ryan. Just
I'm
put
not
I'm
saying-
very.
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
saying
say
it's
I-
lazy, but anyway.
It's
I'm
just
going to disagree
quicker.
with this point, but
Oh,
I think
the
this is.
irony from Ryan.
I'm going to put this on the list on our topics list because I have some
Mhm.
opinions that it's going to
Yeah,
take
anyway,
more than the
we've
3 minutes we have left to record.
We've been going for
But
a while, and I'm not saying that all technology
I have
and
some
all of new
opinions. I
elixirs
disagree
are
with
bad,
you strongly.
but
Stability
Cool.
for the win. Okay, let's leave it there.
That's a no word. That's a no word in the
Oh yeah,
in this thing.
I keep getting in trouble
Remember?
for saying that because CCAM, if you want to sponsor us, hit us up. I'll stop talking shit.
Yeah, right.
Jokes. I'll keep
Yeah,
making
right.
fun of them. Don't you
Yeah,
worry.
Right.
All right, we should probably go because I got to go do something.
Run a
soon.
fish shop.
If
You got to
if
take the
you-
kids to the pool,
but-
do you?
yeah, man.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
Wrap it up.
All right. Well,
boy, do it.
well, thanks
Do
for
it.
listening. This was actually a fun topic, so that is good. Certainly much better than what sort of fish would I like to be. That was atrocious.
We actually got
but-
good feedback about that. People like that way more than
No,
you
we
did.
did
I've
not
had-
get better. We did not get good
I had-
feedback about that. You're lying.
Tom said he liked it, so that's
He
one.
lied. He lies.
This kid who comes into the shop, he said he enjoyed it. He said he had a good laugh. So that's 2 people.
I think there's people that had a good laugh, but in terms of content, it was terrible. But anyway,
It's called
guess
entertainment, Ryan. Don't take yourself too
okay.
seriously.
anyway, the merch is kind of dead, but we are still talking about the cam in a piece of bread t-shirt. That's still got some momentum.
If we sell one, I will get them made. I'll get them made. If one person says they'll definitely buy them, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. And we still haven't actually put a lot of effort into this tattoo idea, so we've probably got to put a bit of energy behind that and get a
Right.
get a logo going. But anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for X-rating us on Spotify, and yeah, keep it real.
Tell your friends, tell your mum, tell your neighbor, tell the courier driver. Listen to this podcast.
Just
I've been.
Just don't tell your local CChem rep.
Yes. Oh, do it. It'll be hilarious. But what I just wanted to quickly say, so YouTube not going well. We need some more subscribers, please. So please help. Ryan would really appreciate it. Like
But look-
it would make him
but
so much
look-
less old and grumpy.
The problem with YouTube is it's visual, and look what we're fucking dealing with here.
Yeah, it's
Like,
3 beautiful people and a
we're
cool bird.
fucked.
What more could you
We're
want?
fucked. We're fucked.
So yeah, please spread the podcast to the hills. We're trying to take it. Well, I'm trying to take it a little bit more seriously, so we can reach some more folks. So yeah, please help. We would appreciate it. Ryan told me that if he doesn't get a 5-star review, he's going to cry. So I mean, yeah.
I'm probably gonna
Remember
cry
to
anyway,
drop
so.
your jokes about Cam's internet below. Ideally Nelson themed would be funny, but whatever comedy gold you can come up with, I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet.
Cheer up,
Swag.
cheer up, Gorilla. You can have some bananas now. You're all good, mate.
We done now?
You figured out how to
Sure are,
tether the
baby.
internet. You figured out how to
Alright.
tether the internet. You learned something today. Every
enough?
day you
All
learn
right,
something. It's
come
a
on.
good day. All right, bye.
Let's go. I gotta go. Bye.